Hi, I'm Jill. I'm an artist. In 2023, we bought our boat Freyr. We fixed her in Whitby and sailed around to Largs through the Caledonian Canal and the Crinan Canal. Our journey continues. Welcome aboard. So it's been said that Mark doesn't do a lot of fixing jobs around the boat.
Yeah, the batteries are definitely gone.
They say, well, Jill does everything. Well, this is proof that Mark does do things around the boat, and he's actually quite handy. Look, he can change batteries and everything. So the plan for this trip was to get to Maryport. It was our anniversary, and we had a meal booked at the curry place in Maryport. So what we thought was we'd go across to Ross Island on the Scottish coast, on the south of Dumfries and Galloway. Stay there for an hour maybe at lunchtime if we make good progress, and then get across to Maryport for the evening. It would be a great way of enjoying the direction of the wind when it picked up, and the tides were all right. It would be an early start, but it'd be a lovely sail. So that was the plan. Across to Ross Island, testing the anchor again, and then across to Maryport. So I'll show you, hold on. So this was the plan. We were going to go from Whitehaven across to Ross Island, anchoring there, and then get across to Maryport for the evening, because the wind was coming from this direction. So I thought when it picks up in the afternoon, it would be a great way of enjoying the wind in both directions, rather than just going straight up and hanging around as much as possible. So that was the plan. Yeah, it was our anniversary. We were looking forward to it. So we had to get really early in the morning, got everything sorted, set off, and everything was going great, as you'll see. See you in a minute. We got up really early. It must have been like 6 o'clock in the morning, and as you can see, it was still dark. So we got ready to set off. We sorted out the lines, we sorted out the engine. I plotted the course into the navigation equipment. Then we were ready to go.
Spring lines first.
I'll undo, you give it a pull, get the nose in, yeah?
Okay.
Tell me when you're clear.
Clear.
We were looking forward to the sail, but we were quite apprehensive after everything that had happened with the engine.
How is it for control?
Sorry?
How is it for throttle control?
Lovely. So much better.
Yeah?
Yeah. The engine felt great, the throttle felt great, the anxiety was starting to diminish. And as we went through into the lock with the early morning sun reflecting on the walls, causing the stonework to glow warmly, we were looking forward to our first day's sailing of the year.
Perfect line, Miss Jill.
Okay.
Keep going. Keep going forward.
We are. That's it, colour in.
Get in.
We had to move forward a little bit to let the boat behind us join in. But in the end, they wanted to go on the other side anyway. They weren't comfortable being behind us, but that was fine as well.
He's going to have to go the other side, isn't he?
It all felt quite natural again. I think having all that time going through the Caledonian and the Crinan and doing locks over and over, it helps this sort of thing.
Cheers, see you lot.
Then the gates were open, as you can see by the swell, and off we go. Nice and easy. Whitehaven was disappearing into the background, and we were heading over to Dumfries and Galloway in Scotland. Mark took over the steering for a bit, whilst I helped put a few fenders away and then checked the engine was spluttering. Well, I could hear it spluttering before, I just wanted to check it again. I think next time we'll probably tighten that main sheet as well, so the boom isn't banging across as much. We're out again. Oi! There's no wind, so we're under engine. But at least we're out again. The wind's going to come in later today because we're doing about 50 miles today, so it'll be good. It'll be good. The wind's going to come in, but at least we're out. Yay!
Jill, just pull it from this end. Just pull it through. Yeah, the main halyard.
So at this point, I actually wanted to get the main halyard sorted. I went in to get the tether to clip myself to the safety line by the mast. This is a point you need to remember for later. I thought it was sorting out the main halyard at the front, attaching it to the sail, but Mark had already done that. All I needed to do was just tighten it. Oh, poor Jilly. I didn't need to use my clip.
No, you didn't need it.
Everything was going so well.
Bloody lady of leisure, look. Who's doing all the work? I don't know.
The usual state of affairs after an early start. Got to be said, this is quite nice. The sun's out, we're heading in the right direction. So this is our first trip out of Whitehaven without returning to Whitehaven. Since we got there, we've just been fixing things and getting things right. And this time we're actually heading to a different destination with a view of staying there for a week. And although we have tried to do it this year and it failed because of the throttle cable, we're keeping everything crossed at the moment. So we're going to Ross Island near Kirkcudbright, just having a look there before we then head down to Maryport for high tide this evening. It was an early start. We were out at 6:30. But it's weird with going back out again. I was quite nervous about sort of getting settled into it, and it took us half an hour to just sort of get back into the swing of setting the boat up and just enjoying the time out here, because that's what we enjoy. We enjoy the time out here as well. It's not just a mode of transport, it's a lovely mode of transport. We love it. On onto Ross Island.
Go on, do it again.
Like a rhinestone cowboy, setting out on a horse in a star-spangled rodeo. Like a rhinestone cowboy, getting cards and letters from people I don't even know, and folks walking over the phone.
Hit like and subscribe or I'll make her do it again.
That wasn't very nice. We got some juicy grapes.
Are they juicy?
They're juicy. You want one?
Yeah, go on then.
There's St Bees Head in the distance, and you can just see, I hope you can see, the Lakeland Fells. It's difficult at the moment because of the sun. They really do stand out over there. Over there is the Scottish coast, and that's where we're heading. Over to Scotland. Oh, I spoke too soon. Something else has gone wrong. Honestly, we just couldn't believe it.
That's not the stern gland. That's in there, that's oil.
The engine had just suddenly stopped. There was no warning, there was no spluttering, there was no bang. It just seized. Well, the first thing we thought was something was round the prop. So it was time to do something about it. We tried the engine again and we got it going, but it was racing away. So I turned the timing down to see if I could get it stable again. But of course, with it being stable, then as soon as we tried putting it in gear, it stalled because the revs would have been too low. And we were all over the place.
Up again.
Oh no!
You got it down to 1100 and you put it back up to 1300. Thousand.
So the engine got turned off and we decided to go back under sail. Then we found we couldn't get the mainsail up. The halyard had wrapped around the navigation light. There's hardly any breeze and the sails are up. We didn't mean to put them up just at this early, but as you can see, we've only got the head sail out. We've got engine trouble. So we're heading back to Whitehaven and we're doing 0.9 knots, but we are going in the right direction. This bit here was where we tried fixing the engine. The engine, actually, I tell a lie, we have actually fixed the engine, but we don't trust it to run very long. So we've got it running again, but we're going to sail for the afternoon as close to Whitehaven and then turn the engine on just for the last bit. So we were going to go all the way that way, but now we're going that way. bobbing along. And we've got a little trail going out the back. It's not much, but we are getting home. I'd already been up the mast at this point trying to free the main halyard. It was really rocky and Mark couldn't quite get me high enough on the small winch, so we decided to wait till we got back in and just went back on the head sail. You can see there, that's where we fixed the engine. We had loads and loads of time. We couldn't get back into Whitehaven before the tide got to the right height for the lock gate anyway. So there was nothing else to do but just enjoy the ride, even though it was ridiculously slow. But it would speed up later. Making slow progress on a calm sea like this, knowing that you're going to get to your destination, really gives you time to think and just to relax a little bit. So even though we were in quite a stressful situation, we found ourselves being quite chilled. 1.8, 2 knots is fine. It's a beautiful day. Do you know what? This boat is so good for sailing in a straight line. Basically, we're going too slow for the autopilot, so I haven't actually got the autopilot on, but I'm also hardly doing anything. It's just a case of setting her and like just adjusting the steering wheel every now and again. She just sits quite happily and just potters along quite nicely. Dead easy. It's very nice. Oh. I'm impressed. The wind has picked up and we're going along at about 3 knots now, 3.5. We might actually get in a bit early, so we may have to tack and come back out a bit before the the lock opens, but we'll see how we get on. Just done a little tack, so we're heading a little bit away from Whitehaven so we can do have a bit more time to get in, so we're not waiting outside the marina. We're just eating up a bit of time before the lock gate opens. But from this side you can see all the Lakeland Fells. I'll show you. There we go, just hiding behind the coastline. Very nice. So we haven't got long to go, but the gate probably won't be open till 2:10, something like that. So we're just eating up a bit of time. It's actually very nice eating up time. Toppling along. Every now and again we get corkscrewed by the waves coming on the quarter, but that's fine. Yeah, just go this way for a bit and turn round and head into Whitehaven. See you in a bit. There we go, we're back in Whitehaven. It's a lovely day.
What'd you say, love?
We're not in our usual berth. We are on the diesel deck and diesel dock, not the diesel deck, and we've just come through the lock, which is there, and a very nice fisherman called John. What was it? 60 was it? 16 was his boat's name. Yeah. And he gave us a little tow in from, we sailed back to just outside the harbour walls, started the engine, thought everything was going to go okay, and it just kept stalling, like really clenching up and stalling. So I don't know whether that's fuel problem or there is something wrapped around the prop. So I think it's something wrapped around the prop. No, I think it's fuel. What do you think, Mark?
I don't know. I don't know. Gary thinks that it says that you're low on fuel. I said it's not low on fuel.
No,
Full tank.
it's full tank, yeah.
It's a full
So
tank of
there
clean
we
fuel.
go. Yeah, clean fuel as well. So anyway, we'll just have to wait and see. But tonight there is a...
I'm going for a curry.
Yeah, we've still got a booking at an Indian in Maryport that we made. We're still going. We'll drive there if we have to.
We are still going.
All right, see you later.
This is what actually happened. There's Maryport up at the top here. There's Maryport, Whitehaven. So we set off absolutely fine. Here, I started the coverage of it here. There was no wind, so we came out, we motored out, nice straight line, following the direction. And here, that's where the engine just spluttered to a halt. This here is where, as you will see, or have seen, that's where we fixed it, we got the engine started, but we didn't get get it to stay going once we put it into gear, which is why we thought something was wrapped around the prop shaft. And then back down, and then this is where we tacked to save some time to be able to get back in, and this is where we got picked up by this is where we were just hanging around, and it was here we got picked up by the little fishing boat and brought in roundabout. That was still there we go, and then just in and into the harbour, and then we ended up on the fuel dock there. So not too bad. I think if it had just been a one-off thing, we'd have just said, oh yeah, let's fix it, no problem. It's just that it was another thing gone wrong. And you may have noticed that we were trying to sort out the main halyard at the beginning that was flapping about a bit. And you may have also noticed we were only sailing on head sail. That's because the mainsail, the rope had got wrapped around the light at the top. Mark actually tried putting me in a sling and hoisting me up in the middle of the Irish Sea, going up, and we couldn't get me high enough to unravel it. So we came back down. It got quite high up, but I just couldn't, because we were going backwards and forwards like this. We couldn't quite get high enough in what we were doing. So I came down. I said, well, let's try something else. He said, no, it's all right. We'll just use the head sail, which worked out to be perfect. I think it would have had mainsail up as well. It would have got very complicated because we'd have gone too fast, way too fast. So we got in, and then what we did is pulling me up, he actually redirected it through one of the words. Oh, what are they called? Round thing the rope goes through, makes it run easier in a different direction. One of those things. And I put it onto a winch, and he winched me up on a bigger winch. He used the small winch while we were out in the Irish Sea, but because we used this, we managed to get it to a bigger winch, and he managed to get me right to the top, and I managed to undo the main halyard round the light, which that would have been the next thing in the Irish Sea. But I thought, oh well, it'll be easier just to put the head sail up and get back. So that's what we did. Didn't film any of it. Should have done, really. I should have taken the camera up. Next time I go up, I'm definitely taking the camera up with me, because it was a great view up there. But Mark said there was no way I was letting go of the rope to no way I was letting go of the rope just to pick a camera up. No chance. So understandable. I'm very important. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, so that was that. We got back in. We still don't know what's wrong with it. Once the engineer came out, we noticed that the prop shaft was actually spinning. So it wouldn't be anything wrapped around the prop. What it really did start to sound like, it was definitely not the diesel, definitely not the engine. The engine was absolutely perfect. What I'd done is I'd just turned the tick over, because the revs just went really high again. I thought, oh, here we go again, but it wasn't that. Everything's pointing to the gearbox, but we'll find out what happened in the next video. So thank you very much for watching, and so Mark doesn't get on my back, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week, where we find out what's wrong with the gearbox and what's happened next. Right, I'll see you later. Bye. At the end of the day, everything that life throws at you is an adventure, the good bits and the bad bits. I'd rather be sitting here contemplating how we're going to fix things and wondering where we're going to be in a month's time than sat at home doing nothing. There's something intoxicating about being challenged and actually being able to do something about it. It's the challenge of understanding that at the end of the day, you can look after yourself. I suppose in the end, that's what we all want to be able to do. We want to know we can look after ourselves. And when you're sailing about by yourselves, it puts you in positions where you really have to think about what the situation is in front of you and how to get through it. And there's a great satisfaction in overcoming quite drastic situations. We wouldn't want to be doing anything else, even though it proves to be really difficult, emotionally and physically. And one thing you can always rely on at the end of the day is the gentle sway back and forward of the boat once you've found shelter. I wouldn't change it for the world.